The worst person in the world? Yeah, you're goddamn right. A woman who can't make up her mind? That's the worst person I can think of all.
Okay. What voice were you trying to do just then?
I was going for like transatlantic, like Judy Garland, like, oh, you're coming around the mountain. I don't know.
The mountain. I don't know. What do they say?
You know what they say in Norway? The worst woman in the world is a... I can't. Welcome to the worst podcast in the world. Believe it or not, 0. Awful and boring. 0 stars. We're The Swamp. It's an acronym.
Says for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And Pride Month is over.
Unfortunately.
Sorry to see it go, but I'm glad to be moving on to some good movies. Because
we just picked bombs.
We went for some... we really botched last month. We really fumbled the bag. So we just decided good movies only for July.
Yeah.
And so we're kicking it off with the 2021 Norwegian film, The Worst Person in the World, which I think you and I were both pretty surprised that it took us this long to cover it.
Yeah, it was just a movie that I had been really excited when I saw it. I had been waiting to see it and really enjoyed it when I saw it, which was 2020 or something like
2021,
that?
it came out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it just been on our list.
Did you see it in the theaters?
I did. I was really sad. I was really sad when it came out, and I was living in Hartford at the time, and there was not a single theater playing it near me, so I drove up to Framingham, Massachusetts, which is...
That's 2 solid hours.
Yeah, it was basically a 2-hour drive. And I saw it middle of the day on a Tuesday in an AMC by myself, and it was brilliant, and I sobbed.
Yeah, that seems about right. That seems like the sort of conditions in which this movie was meant to be watched, yeah.
But yeah, seeing it the way that I did felt like I had seen it the way it was meant to be seen. I think that this is a movie that you should be required to watch when... you either graduate college or once you turn 25.
Well, I was gonna...
And men can't watch this movie. No men. This is a girl's movie.
Two touch points, right, to hit on here is seeing this movie when I was 22 versus 25. Those 2 ages do not feel that different to me when I think about myself, retrospectively. My, visceral reaction to this movie this time around was, I was like, oh my god, I feel so much older than what I thought of this the last time I watched it. Do you know what I mean? Of age film about a 20-something-year-old woman, which just does not exist. I'm like, does that exist anywhere else?
Well, it's every movie that gets made is about high schoolers. No matter what, it always takes place in high school. If it's a coming-of-age movie, you're in high school. Yeah. Every now and then, they'll sprinkle in some sort of, indie college movie, and that's it. And then I feel like lately, we're maybe getting a couple more movies that are about women growing up throughout their life. Instead of just as a fucking teenager. As if we just die and become useless after we turn 18. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Any woman older than 25 isn't allowed to be on camera, ever.
Of course,
so
yeah.
That's, yeah. So just jot that one down, Hollywood. But yeah, this movie being European, I think also had, a lot of...
Oh, absolutely. I think we don't watch enough foreign films, I suppose, to really say that... no movies are made about women after they're, 20 years old.
Mainstream. We're generalizing about mainstream.
Yes, and we're Americans, and it's just, I'm just watching whatever A24 and Neon are putting out. And if that's not in it, then I'm not watching it, So, which is my bad, but...
Right, but my first time I ever watched this movie was on, I don't want to say one of the worst days of my life, but a very, very bad day.
I'm glad that we both had this experience then, because I feel that.
Not to one-up you, but I guess yours was more you were bringing the emotional baggage to the viewing, and I was bringing the situational fucking baggage. It was the day...
Enlighten me.
...that I found out that I had COVID, so I was super sick, Apex COVID. It was the first time I had gotten it since being vaccinated.
Oh.
So it hit me.
Yeah, so you're getting your ass beat.
I had 100 2-degree fever, feeling like shit.
Fuck!
Same day, I was supposed to start a new job, and I couldn't because I got COVID. And I was also supposed to move. And it turned out the apartment I was moving into was a scam. I got scammed on Craigslist because I'm a big fucking dum-dum. And I got scammed into a fake apartment. And so I was like, I have a bad feeling about this and I have COVID. Henry, will you go a day early and see if the apartment is real? And he went and it was not real. And that was the day. And I couldn't even be in the same room as anyone to fucking scream about it. So I just watched a bunch of movies and was really sad and ate a whole gallon of ice cream by myself. And it was awful. But I watched this movie. I remember watching this movie and afterwards being like, well, I don't feel any better. like that.
I mean, did it at least give you a little solace of, like, you're not alone in being an idiot?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And being, like...
It felt very appropriate, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I wanted to get into with you a little bit about, you mentioned this movie is for the 20-somethings, the girlies, the coming of age. So I think the major difference between my viewing experience with this movie, the first and the second time, was the piece of knowledge I gained this time around because of it being written and directed by men. Because I had fully assumed, of course, the first time I ever watched it, I went into it sort of dry. I didn't really know anything about it other than that it was, nominated for a couple of Oscars and people generally liked it. Mm-hmm. I had fully assumed from the minute that movie started till it ended that it was a semi-autobiographical thing written and directed by a woman, that this was about, certain, maybe fictionalized things about her life, or just generally coming from a place of, being semi-autobiographical, really putting herself into the movie. Sure. Specifically just because the main character, ends up, being interested in writing and photography and interested in the arts, but, feels sort of, held back in that way. And I'm always like, oh, this is the kind of thing a filmmaker would struggle with, right? These are the kind of, not knowing your exact vision or purpose. And the movie ends with the main character directing the woman on set and, really getting, a beautiful
she's, the
shot.
Photographer.
Right, but, this woman's not acting well, and this, she gives her some advice to take the pictures, and they come out really good, or whatever, and that's the epilogue, which is, you didn't really need that, but I was like, oh, this is such a filmmaker's film, right? Oh, that's the moment she realized that she had the potential, or whatever, that she had, the thing, the juice, the sauce, if you will. So I was like, oh, yeah, this is totally, written and made by a woman, and then, this time around, doing a little bit of research for the pod, I was like, oh,
obviously.
Screenplay by 2 men, directed by one of those 2 men. So I was like, interesting. And going in with that, it made me realize so many things about this movie that I just don't think I paid attention to the first time. How she has no friends.
Nope.
She has no female... She doesn't have any friends, period. But this movie doesn't have any other women. She talks to her mom in, one scene.
Yeah.
And she's never seen speaking with other women, ever.
I do think, though, for today's day and age, I think of myself, I have moved to a new city. I know maybe a handful of people here. I don't have any friends either. And I think that's the case with a lot of people and a lot of young people right now. I mean, I talked to a handful of the people my age in my office, and I was like, yeah, y'all got any friends here? And they were like, absolutely not. We're gonna go watch House of the Dragon at a bar sometime as a get-together with other people who are trying to make friends, because I think that's I didn't have a problem with it in this movie, because I think that feels at least really real to me right now. And especially considering that all of the friends you see in the movie are her boyfriend's friends.
Yes.
And I think that is also really telling, because I think that everyone of a certain generation, because he's 10 plus years older. He's probably 14 or 15 years older than her. And I think people of an older generation have kept up with their friendships a lot better and continue to grow their circles and things like that. I don't think that we're doing a very good job as a younger generation, so I didn't think that was an issue. The one thing that struck me about this was how big of a point they made it to circle around the pregnancy theme and the motherhood theme, as if that's the only thing that women have to look forward to in the future. Which I think they kind of tried to talk about how that's not true, I guess, but it kind of almost ended up folding in on itself a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what they were trying to say with that, and maybe I'm just an idiot.
No, I think the movie's a little messy and ambivalent on purpose because it's supposed to be about how life is messy and ambivalent,
and that's
right?
Exactly.
But yeah, I think there were a few things that I think came across really succinctly and cleanly about, specific things that people in their 20, let's say like 23 to 30, right, is like the age that this movie covers, and that sort of coming of age, that awkward in between sort of feeling that I think they captured so succinctly, and it was so amazing to me that they could get such like something that you feel is so isolating, but that it's like everyone experiences it, and have it being put to art in such a clean way was like, oh my god, that is a very universal feeling that you just captured. Like the little things of like her going nonverbal at the party, right? Like all her boyfriend's friends are talking and drinking wine, and she's like, goes nonverbal at the function. Like little things like that I think they captured that were so good. But they're more generalizations about feeling young and awkward and growing up and coming of age type things, not specifically about what it's like to be a woman in those situations. Because I also think the European perspective of this movie, it's coming out like she's a seemingly middle class, white, gorgeous woman. Yeah. Right? Living in like, Oslo, Norway. She has the ability to sort of be so introspective because she doesn't have those other pressures, right? I'm like, as an American watching this, I was like, well, yeah, girl, you can just decide you don't want to be a surgeon and that you want to be a photographer instead, because you live somewhere with universal education and healthcare. If this movie was set in America, the minute she's like, I don't want to be a doctor anymore, they'd be like, well, here's your bill for $800,000. Good luck with that, right? And the rest of the movie would her be like, I don't have time to figure out who I am. I gotta deal with not fucking dying. Like,
absolutely. And I mean, I've had countless conversations with people who were in the middle of school, didn't know what they wanted to do. I certainly had a handful of times when I was in school trying to decide, is this what I want to actually do? And I didn't end up changing my major or anything like that. And now I'm glad I didn't. But once you're in it, you really have no mobility because of how much money you sink in. Obviously, this isn't new fucking news.
Yeah.
But I will say this movie is very like white feminist.
Yes, which again, and then it was written by two men, so you're like, oh, I get it. And I think it's a beautiful piece of art. I think it's super clear. I think they're making really good, solid points. I think it has emotional depth. I just don't think it's saying anything profound, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be.
No, it doesn't have to be. I think that this is a movie too that I can go back to every 2 or 3 years in my life, and I'll probably reconnect with in a different way. I know that when I first watched this, I was like a year or so out of college, and I had been working at like Trader Joe's or some shit, and I hated it, and I didn't feel like I had any direction for my life. And I mean, it felt just really nice to see that reflected on screen, someone else that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Which isn't, again, not new.
Right, somebody who seemingly though is so charismatic, hot, cool, funny, right? Like if she is a girl you met at a party, you would think she's got her fucking shit together. She's, the way she, at that first party, she chats him up, oh, you're the comic book artist. She seems like the fucking coolest girl in the room. And then to crack into it and to be like, oh, she's spiraling, right? And that's, I'm like, I need to remember everyone else, even hot people spiral, even people who seem like they have it all together are also facing the existential dread of being alive.
Exactly.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely feel... I didn't feel as strongly about it, I think, because I'm not in that space anymore. I don't know. There's plenty that you can critique, obviously, but I think it's just beautifully done, and I think the pacing I really liked, and like I said, there's still something I'm going to get out of it every watch. And right now, I just finished the movie like 20 minutes ago, so I'm not exactly certain what I've pulled from it this time.
Right,
so forgive me, I'm kind of rambling.
Still in your feels, right? Like...
Oh my, well, I forgot how fucking sad this movie got. Which, like, I also, that's one thing I didn't love, that it had to go there, I guess, to sort of kick off her journey of, like, starting a career and getting her shit together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I didn't love that there had to be this big crux of, a turning point of where Axel ends up getting sick and dying, and then finally she's like, okay, I need to do something. You know what I mean? Which it doesn't quite say it that much, but jumping from his death to her successful future is basically what that's telling me.
The two parts of the ending that I think kind of, I don't know, not ruin it, but, like, I think it just could have, it didn't feel like it matched, right? The two things at the ending, which, content warning, this movie deals with very, very sad, cancerous death, but also, the idea and discussion like abortion and miscarriages and unwanted pregnancies and that whole thing. But it was those two things at the end, specifically them reconnecting right as he dies of cancer, and then they get the closure that they really needed, or lack thereof of closure, but they discuss it and they sort of get that connection at the end, and then almost like the big decision she's grappling with being made for her, almost, right? Like, she doesn't know what she wants to do about this baby, and then it just miscarrying is almost like, well, wasn't the point that she was gonna have to make the choice? A
decision, finally.
Right?
Yeah.
That it was gonna be one way or the other, but she was gonna have to choose. Those two things felt like such clean little, and then we tie this up with a bow, and then you move on, and that's life. And I'm like, haven't you been saying this whole time that life is all about, like, decisions and not feeling like you did the right thing, and regrets, and, feeling uneasy about the future, and all of that doesn't coincide with me to the and then you get the closure in your relationship, and then he passes away, and then you lose your baby, and then you become a photographer. Yes. And then,
girl,
you get a haircut, and then you become a photographer.
Let me say something about that fucking haircut. That's what irked me at the end. I hate nothing more than a girl getting a bob for us to see that she has grown up. Kill me!
Oh.
Kill me! Oh my god! That shit is so stupid. It's so stupid. And it's also so, like, it's the whole, like, why are you making her maternal, also? Like, in that sense, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because women get that haircut now, so the babies that they have don't pull their hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
That's literally it. But on the other side of that, girl, that's not a haircut that you get when you're 34 years old. That's the thing that you do when you're 12 years old and you see Alice Cullen on your television screen for the first time. Be serious.
Be fucking for real. I'm like, wait.
If you
my brain is fully developed. Should I get a sensible bob? Should I?
Absolutely not.
Should I get a bang and a sensible bob to really ring in my late 20s?
Oh my god, no. Bring back long hair. Those are the only two situations you should ever have a bob. Is if you're 12 and if you had a baby just recently. That's it.
2 passes. Oh my god.
Other than that, my only other takeaway from this movie is that, give me more male full frontal nudity. Flaccid.
Oh my god, I totally had forgotten about that.
Like, okay, big balls.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, they really just had him stand there. They let that shot linger. Like,
thank God they did. And thank God they did. Listen, dick, not my thing, not for me. But I love seeing them put it on screen. That is how we close the wage gap.
Yeah. Soft cock. Soft cock is gonna save feminism in media, right?
You have to put 2 soft cocks on my screen for every pair of tits you put on screen in the last 100 years of TV and film.
Yep.
And then we can call it even. And not prosthetics either. Not prosthetics. Show me your dick.
Yeah, right? Kid Cudi. I knew that thing wasn't real. That was a
Be
monster
serious.
truck.
Be serious.
The worst person in the world? No, it's the best person in the world. My mom, Jen. Aw, Jen, we love you. Here. And you are going to do your interim podcast segment, Chocolate or Vanilla, which we also love. Best segment in the world, some might say. You're going to say two things. We're all going to say which one we like better. How are you this week? And is there a theme?
I am fair. And there is a theme. It's movies from 2020 till now.
Down.
Okay.
Love that.
Love that. This movie actually had me thinking a lot about the 2022 Oscars, or was it the 2021 Oscars? Whichever one that it was. Coda won Best Picture and Will Smith got slapped. It was that year. Like, that was a lot.
Yeah. What did this lose to?
This lost to Drive My Car in the international film category.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that one, did you?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, was that? I think that was nominated for Best Movie also.
Yeah, I believe so.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
I'm gonna go with vanilla.
Okay.
Dune, Dune or Dune 2?
Oh, Jen, as if this would even trip me up. Dune 2. Dune 2 is everything to me.
Yeah. It's an easy Dune 2. I feel like Dune is good. Dune is good for what it is, but it's all set up.
Yep.
Yes, and the way I would, sell it to people who, weren't really vibing with how much I was loving Dune 2 was that I would be like, do you know, Batman Begins, but then The Dark Knight? It's The Dark Knight. You like Batman Begins, but you love The Dark Knight. That's what Dune 2 is. Mm-hmm. So it's just, a way to elevate an objectively better sequel. One, it was important, but it's really about 2.
I agree. I think 2 was the perfect movie. Next one is Everything Everywhere All at Once or The Batman with our Pats.
Ooh, love The Batman, but I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that might be my favorite Oscar winner picture since, of the 2000s, plus, Maybe, I don't know, maybe ever. I'd have to think about it. But my big flex, getting to be there at South by when they, did the first premiere of it was, a very special thing that I think I will remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Everything Everywhere, for sure. That movie changed me chemically.
Yeah, I will go with Everything Everywhere for the sweet. Next one, Godzilla -1 or Godzilla vs. Kong?
Godzilla -1. I haven't seen either of these, actually.
Me neither.
But I know I really appreciate all of the effort and passion that went into Godzilla -1. The way that all those people showed up to the fucking Oscars in their little Godzilla figurines, wearing the Godzilla pins and themed outfits. They were so happy because they worked on that movie for fucking years, because that's how long it should take if you pay your animators properly to make something that looks that fucking good.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it. I really think I should watch it, because I do think it's a reference point of a new industry standard of this is, if your movie doesn't look like this, it's because you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's because you're cutting corners, corporate bullshit. All movies can look like this.
I wholeheartedly agree with everything you just said. So, yeah, Godzilla -1.
I will say, though, about Godzilla versus Kong, or was it Godzilla and... What was the other...
Versus, I think.
There was this, incredible fixation I had for a while on the baby Kong. And he has a name, too. I didn't see this movie, but his name is Suko. And Suko is Baby Kong. And Baby Kong, I was just showing you guys how to make stickers on your phone. I would put Baby Kong on top of everyone's text messages in the group chat. We hanging out tomorrow? Baby Kong. That means yes. Why was that? They use him as a weapon. They hold his little monkey arm, and they whip him around to smack the other monkeys. Aww. It's beautiful. Anyway, shouts out Baby Kong.
I will agree with you guys and go Godzilla -1. Next one is Spider-Man No Way Home or Wakanda Forever.
Did I see Wakanda Forever? I don't think so. I think I've only seen the original Black Panther movie. I don't think I've seen any of the subsequent. Spider-Man, what did you say? No Way Home? Was that the one with all of them? That one was fucking annoying. That movie was annoying as hell. So I'll still pick it, Spider-Man.
I'll pick Spider-Man because at least it had some fan service, and I haven't seen the other one.
It was a little too much fan service.
I'll go with Spider-Man also. Next one, Top Gun Maverick or Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh, Avatar: The Way of Water. Love. I want to see it in IMAX once a week. If I could cycle actually bi-weekly Avatar: The Way of Water and Dune 2 in IMAX just in my home, that would be great.
I didn't see any of these. Is
wow.
Avatar worth it? Because I just remember not really giving a shit about the first one.
The second one was so much better than the first one.
Okay, I'll go for The Way of Water then, because why the fuck would I ever pick Top Gun?
I wanted to like that movie too. I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, but it just...
I can give it props for getting Glenn Powell on the map.
I can give it props for getting men to have mustaches for that summer.
Yeah,
right? Like,
also
that
true.
was kind of nice. Thank you, Miles Teller. That was nice.
Thank you, Miles. Yeah, I'll go with Avatar too. That was definitely like you were in the theater for the better part of 3 hours and it didn't feel too long. You know what I mean?
I saw one theatrically remastered like 6 months before the second one came out, again in IMAX, and I like the first one too. I don't know if that's a controversial opinion. I like the Avatar movies.
Next one is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn, or Suicide Squad from 2021.
Birds of Prey is fine. Suicide Squad should be erased from all. You know what about like lost media, right? How some movies just get... I think that should happen to Suicide Squad right now.
Agreed. I'll jump on Birds of Prey with you then. Yeah, because in no way, shape, or form would I ever even watch Suicide Squad. But Birds of Prey was fun enough.
Yeah, I'll go with Birds of Prey too. Next one is that Harley Quinn's origin story? Because I love an origin story.
No, not an origin story. Just like a side adventure.
Okay, next one is Borat subsequent movie film, or Bodies.
Oh, Bodies. Have to say it. Again, you're bringing up a lot of like somewhat problematic stuff that I kind of like, Jen, this week, because I like Borat, I like Avatar, and I like Borat. I'm sorry. I'm the everyman, you know? I just accept that it's good. But no, Bodies is so... chef's kiss.
I did really enjoy that movie. I'll go Bodies on this one as too.
I did not see either of these, so I'll just go Bodies with you guys. Next one is Cinderella with Camila Cabello, or Cruella with Emma Stone.
Oh, no contest. Camila Cabello is a certified flop-tina. She annoys the fucking shit out of me. I don't know what it is. Her rebrand, trash. I just think Camila Cabello...
She's just a nothing person.
Camila Cabello's not invited on the pod. I'll say it.
Yeah, thank you.
But you know who is...
Clarifying.
Emma Stone. Emma Stone can come on anytime. So
absolutely.
I'll go with... I didn't see Cruella, though. I
didn't either. We had wanted to, and then we realized it was a $20 rent, so...
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. I'll go Cruella, though. Absolutely. And also, the little... I don't know. Jen, do you watch House of the Dragon?
Can't do it.
The little dog that everyone was screaming about online from House of the Dragon. Like, last week was the same dog actor that was in Cruella.
Oh.
That was, like, her dog.
Oh, good for him.
He is booked and busy.
The marketing material for new House of the Dragon, Emma Darcy looking so hot convinced me to start the show, so I'm just at the part in season 1 where they transition from the young actors to the older actors. So
aren't they so good? Aren't the change-ups so good?
Unclockable. So good. But
First
yeah, that's
all,
where I'm at.
Millie as young Rhaenyra, slay. Emily Carey as young Allison, double slay. Oh so my god. Good. But like the actual, like, this just proves to me more that you don't need to use AI to cast your younger versions of someone. Because that person exists. Yeah. I promise you can find them.
Yeah,
they did such a good job.
Right? It's also like a vibe thing, right? Like a mannerism thing. Like, I don't know. You can make up for a lot of facial difference with, like, a little bit of, like, good acting, you know?
Yeah. I don't... It's not that I think that there's a land out there with dragons and magic and swords and fighting. I can suspend my disbelief.
Yeah, right.
A little bit. If their eye shape isn't the same.
Like, have a little faith in me. I know they're wearing the same white wig. I know it's the same character. Like...
There's still incredible sexual tension between her and
her
Allison.
And her uncle.
It's fine. Oh no!
Wait, this is not a Game of Thrones recap podcast, but I'm in the
Are you pro
right now.
Are you pro incest on this season or
Yeah. Yeah, I hate to say it. Well,
yeah.
The status of my opinion on incest depends on the length of his hair.
Are long hair or short hair?
Both, as long as it's not in the middle. I don't like the bob.
He sticks with the bob for a while.
I know, I don't like it.
Alright, sorry, Jen. We'll let you get back into this conversation.
Oh no, that's okay. I'll go Cruella also, even though I did see both of these. And you guys should watch Cruella. She was outstanding in it. Yeah. Next one is Elvis or Lyle Lyle Crocodile.
Oh my god, this is gonna be fucked up with me. I'm gonna say Lyle Lyle Crocodile.
Wow!
Fuck the Elvis movie. I fucking hate that shit. That's annoying as hell. But also, my Dungeons and Dragons character is named Lyle Lyle, and he's an alligator because of the swamp, right? Very funny. But every now and again, I'll pepper in a la 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 la. But all the boys, all the freaking dumb boys I play D&D with don't know that reference. I'm like, oh, you don't know the Shawn Mendes as Lyle Lyle Crocodile riff? No, they don't get it. So that one's for me, you know.
Unfortunately, I also hate Shawn Mendes just about as much as I hate Camila Cabello.
True. Shawn, you're not invited.
I do not hate Austin Butler. He has since won me back from his Elvis stint, so I will choose Elvis.
I'll go with you. I'll choose Elvis too. Next one is French Dispatch or Minari.
Ooh. I think
That's
these are two movies that I saw in the theaters and then never have watched again since, and this is making me think that I really should revisit both of them because it's been a while. I really remember loving Minari. I almost think I remember thinking it should have won Best Picture that year. I'm trying to remember what it was up against, but I remember thinking that was maybe my favorite of that year. Yeah. So I'll go with Minari.
Yeah, I
think it lost to Nomadland.
Of course it did. Ah!
Yeah.
Boo!
Tomato.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
I remembered really, really wanting to watch, or to like French Dispatch, and I didn't. It might have also been because I was like, I watched it on my birthday. I watched it on my 23rd birthday. I am not someone that gets really sad on their birthdays, but I was, like, viciously depressed on this birthday. So I was sitting there, I was like, I can't even fucking enjoy this. But I don't think if I actually went back and watched it still, I'm not sure that I would love the vignette styling. Yeah, I like when his stories bop around a little bit, but the vignettes really didn't sell me. Minari, though, cried my eyes out, so... Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go Minari on this one.
I'll go Minari for the sweep. Remember that little kid?
He was also in the movie Theater Camp.
Yeah. Oh my god, I have
he's
to watch that.
He's a little rising star. That one.
Nice. And Kanto or Lightyear?
I did not see either of these. This is kind of I'm trying to think. I think it was really after Moana, where I fully gave up on trying to connect with Disney as an adult person. Because I'm like, these are just not good. Other kids' movies, I will go see because I'm like, I have the belief that, animated movies can extend beyond just a child audience. But so many of the Disney movies lately have just been like, I don't get it. It's not for me. I'm not going to go see Inside Out 2. I'm sorry. Even for Io Dibri, I won't go see it.
Wow.
But yeah, so I didn't really see either of these, but I know people really liked Encanto. I would maybe watch it if I got like a reputable source of like a friend who was like, yeah, that's actually good. But Lightyear's fucking offensive to me. That shit, what a fucking cash grab, pathetic. Like, if you were involved in the making of that movie, you should be ashamed of yourself, and you should not be able to call yourself an artist or creative in any way. You're a business person. You fucking idiot. So I'll pick Encanto, because...
I'll at least go for Encanto. I think I can't... I remember working Disney on Ice when I worked at an arena, and they had some fire songs from Encanto, at least. I don't give a shit about Lightyear. Who voiced him? Was it Chris Pratt or Chris Evans? Chris Evans. Yeah. Just as bad. It's all the same. It's all offensive. So yeah, I'll go Encanto on this one.
I'll go Encanto also. And then, Emily, just to circle back, if you guys want to watch Cruella, we have the Disney...
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Great to know.
Watch it for free at my house.
Yes. I'll be right there.
Next one is Roald Dahl's The Witches or Hocus Pocus #2.
Oh, no. I just know why, like, that Anne Hathaway movie was a huge flop, right?
Giant flop.
Huge flop.
But I think she still was really cunt in it.
You saw it?
No.
Oh.
But I was like...
I thought the performance was great.
No, I didn't see it, but I watched it on TikTok, so I basically saw it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through 30 different clips with slime playing on the other side of the screen.
Right, yeah, Subway Surfers. No, I guess I'll pick The Witches just because I really like the original movie, and I like Anne Hathaway, but...
Absolutely.
It's a no for me. Also, Hocus Pocus... We don't need to be remaking. Yeah. We don't need to be doing all that.
Yeah, I'm going to say The Witches as to not get on Annie's bad side, because I still think one day she'll come on this podcast. I have high hopes for the future.
Yeah. Love that energy.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, I'm like DMing the mermaid on TikTok to be like, please, we can't pay you. We can talk about H2O.
I wonder if she would have ripped off your voice if you had actually said Katie Ledecky.
Katie Ledecky. Sorry, I'm from Massachusetts.
I can't help it.
Katie Ledecky.
I'll say The Witches also. Next one is Tenet or Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, I didn't see Tenet, but I am going to pick it. I only have 2 Christopher Nolan movies left to watch, and then I will have seen his whole directorial canon.
It's genuinely impressive.
What are they? That one and what else?
Oh, the one with Insomnia.
The fuck?
Oh, that's old.
Yeah, with Robin Williams and Al Pacino.
It's creepy, too. It's very creepy.
Never seen it. Yeah, that one and Tenet are my 2 outstanding. But, fuck Gal Gadot. Fuck Israel.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather choke in a public restaurant than ever watch that movie.
What a specific thing.
Yeah, and no one knows the Heimlich, so I'm just sitting there choking.
Or you're trying to hide it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're embarrassed, so you're like, I'm just gonna keep swallowing until I die.
Exactly, and then I end up having to throw myself over a chair to Heimlich myself.
Choke in a public restaurant where no one knows the Heimlich versus in a private restaurant where everyone knows the Heimlich.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'll go Tenet on this one as well.
Yeah, I'll go Tenet, even though, man, I did not understand that movie. I just didn't get it.
And you know what? I'm glad someone admitted it.
Yeah. And you know what? You're really brave for that, Jen.
Thank you. But that was it for movies of the 2020s.
Phenomenal. Thank you, Jen.
Love.
Dare I say that the movies are back?
We're back, baby.
I've been feeling a little bit of a dip lately. There's been nothing in theaters that's been really tickling me these past few months, but I would say as far as the up and up, the 2020s are looking a lot better than the 2010s to me as far as quality cinema. I think within 3 years, we're already on a good 4 years. We're on a good, got a lot of good stuff happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jen. As always, we love you, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, I love you guys. Have an awesome night.
Bye. But wait, do we want to get into the two boys, right? So this whole movie, I would say this movie is I will loosely call it a rom-com, but it is not romantic or funny.
It wouldn't.
But her first boyfriend, this movie basically is, channeling her experience through her, mid-20s to the late 30s experience with specifically around her relationship with these two men and sort of how she feels like that reconnoiters her view of life.
Which I also hate how they're so centered in this.
Yeah. Well,
this is not about her,
But so the first boyfriend he is in his 40s, so he's a bit older, and he's this successful cartoonist, and he has this cartoon he made, Axel, and his Bobcat is the cartoon, and he's a little kind of refined, but also the comics are kind of raunchy, so he's he's got a sense of humor, but he of course has all of his, they're very Gen X, right? He's a very Gen X guy. Yeah. She's very millennial, and there's the stark contrast between those two things, and he's like, hey, this isn't gonna work out, we're two different ages, and she's like, that's kind of hot though, so I'm here for it, and he's like, you're gonna change your mind, and she's like, no, but then of course then she changes her mind. And then the second guy is in just probably the most beautiful sequence of 12 minutes ever put to film. For what fucking reason, I cannot wrap my mind around. Where she crashes the wedding party.
A wedding.
And meets, what is his fucking name?
Ivan, basically.
I just think he looks like a Clydesdale horse. That boy's looking like a police
in a pretty
horse.
way, though?
No, in not a good or a bad way. And I'm simply factual way that I'm saying that man looks like a police horse. Like a police Clydesdale is the complete energy I get from him.
You'd see him in Central Park.
Yes. Are you on the payroll, sir? That's insane.
I don't know. I think he's pretty.
They're both kind of attractive in a weird hot but not hot way
in a Norwegian way.
In a very Norwegian way. No, we went to fucking Denmark, and everyone there is so hot. Everyone is 6 feet tall and so hot and healthy. Everyone looks so healthy. It's insane. Y'all Scandinavian people.
They leave their babies outside there. It's crazy.
Yeah, so much trust in the community. They're snowsuited up babies. It's.
I'll tell you what, this movie did sort of bring me back to we were in Copenhagen 6 months ago or something like that, probably more now. But I was sitting there, and I really appreciated this movie for showing how much of the seasons it did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It felt very intentional, and I really, really enjoyed that part of it.
I liked the setting a lot, and I think you can tell that these people really love, that city, and, they love where they're from. Cause,
absolutely.
I felt like there was a lot of, intentionality and love put into, the Norwegian setting of it all.
Yeah. I thought it was very beautiful. But the men.
Police horse, guy number 2, he's a little bit younger, he's more her age appropriate, and they meet at this party, but they both have partners, and they do the whole, how far are we gonna go until what is cheating, right? And
I love this sequence, too.
Oh my god, why is it so fucking good? Them peeing in front of each other is more romantic than anything that has been in a modern rom-com in the past 20 years.
They're smelling each other's armpits.
I just couldn't believe that there was a fart joke, and then it immediately cuts to that gorgeous scene of him shotgunning the smoke from her mouth. That's literally is the movie poster because of just how gorgeous that fucking shot is, right? She farts in front of him, and they have a little laugh about giggle. It, and then it's immediately cuts to just
the sexiest shot of the film.
Oh, my skin was tingling, and I was like, wait, I'm still coming down from this fart joke. This is crazy.
The whiplash.
Oh, but I really liked the sequence as well about his girlfriend.
Yes, that's the thing that stood out to me this watch. And it was done really well in such a short period of time. It was less than 10 minutes, definitely.
Yeah, I think that this movie
And it told me everything that I needed.
This movie took 2 kind of big, heavy quote unquote like modern topics and kind of tackled them pretty surface level but very succinctly, with both the Me Too article and the whole climate change thing, and like her posing as like being native because she wants to get really into climate action, and like but like being very Instagram infographic posty about it, you know what I mean? Like what a specific performative type of person that we all know and can recognize, that they just like really hit that nail on the head. So like, I don't know, deal with the whole climate, like yes, we're all aware of it and we're talking about it, but the way we're talking about it is not productive, and this is an example of that, right? I thought that was so specific and well done, as well as I do think, again, thinking more about now how they're two men who wrote it, the whole like, I like being face fucked, so does that mean I'm not a feminist? I'm like, okay, maybe a woman didn't write this movie, like, I don't know about that. But I think that they made up for it, though, in a couple of the dialogue things where I was like, oh, they definitely, like, have spoken to women and, like, have listened, right? Like, these men who wrote this movie, like, actually have women in their life who they respect and speak with, I think. Yeah. Unlike most men who write other movies specifically about women, you know what I mean? This didn't feel like women written by men too much. But the part where she was like, you know, I like the soft dick, like, I was like, oh, a man didn't write that. They got that from, like, they overheard that at a party or something.
That was someone, that was someone's wife.
Who said that, right? Like, at a dinner party. And they're like, I'm gonna write that down. You're kind of corked up and mysterious. Let me write that down.
The one scene that I really did not like was the mushrooms scene. I don't think it needed to be there. I thought it was strange. I thought that that felt very much a man or a woman written by a man, I guess. Because, like, first of all, one, poor Ivan for having to basically trip sit 3 people while he's also on drugs. That's hard enough. And I know he didn't want to do the drugs. 2, if I ever did the shit that she did while she was on mushrooms in front of other people, respectfully, I would have no choice but to kill myself.
Yeah, I would never show my face again, right?
Never. And that whole sequence of her going and really connecting with her body and it not feeling like her body, and she has a baby and she's naked and topless, and then she sits down and she rips her tampon out and puts her blood under her eyes like she's a baseball player. Shut up.
Yeah,
that's so what, like, it almost feels like something out of Girls or something weird. You know what I mean? I'm like,
right. What in the Lena Dunham is going on here?
Exactly. I'm like, this is what you think a woman. What? I don't know. Maybe I didn't get it. No, but I didn't like it.
It really reminds me of those memes that are like, men have to do LSD to achieve ego death that I achieved when I was in 3rd grade at a sleepover. Like, men need to do, psychedelic brain-altering drugs to release...
To unlock empathy.
Yeah, to have the sort of self-actualization that I've had since I was 12. So, good luck with that, babe. Yeah, it was giving me very that. I also, as you mentioned... him not wanting to really do the mushrooms is, like, again, something that just really impressed me about this movie is how in such few lines of dialogue, or just how good the acting was, that it could convey such a complex, like, the friend finds the drugs and he's like, haha, yeah, like, I guess I'm gonna go along with it, but you get that, like, restraint, right? What a specific and complex emotion to capture. So, like, yes, we all know how he's feeling. Just, I think it's a real credit to the actors in this, as well as I thought the writing was great. This was nominated for Best Screenplay at the Oscars, which it did not win, but as well as Best International Feature. But I really thought, I was like, I could not believe that specifically this lead actress, I thought she was groundbreakingly phenomenal in this. But so many of the supporting characters too, I thought were like just so beautifully acted. I really can't believe that this didn't really get that much recognition. I mean, of course it's an international film, so they usually just pick one and be like, hey, see, we punched the ticket. But I was like, wow, no acting known for her? What a bummer. I think she deserved it. And I know she won at Cannes. She won like the whatever the
that makes sense.
Actress award you can get.
Yeah. Do you want to get into our regularly scheduled programming?
Yeah. So Fuck, Marry, Kill. I feel like we have to do Julie,
Axel and Ivan.
Is it Ivan? I really...
It's the Norwegian version of Ivan.
At least we're getting the country right, though, because when we covered Another Round...
God!
And we kept saying that it was Dutch when it was Danish, that was embarrassing.
Still sorry about that one, guys. We haven't lived it down. I'm not calling this... Imagine for, like, this Swedish movie. Just some Swedish movie. Yeah.
But, fuck, marry, kill between the main big three. I feel like I'm still gonna kill Axel. I'm sorry. Like, I can't be with him. He gave me the ick a lot. I know she was supposed to feel like we felt the ups and downs with her, Yeah. But I was really feeling the downs. He really, I think one of my favorite chapters
Not for you.
Was, I think the chapter is titled, again, I like how the movie is broken up. I love a chaptered movie.
Oh, is it, what's the name of the comic book?
Bobcat Ruins Christmas.
Yeah, that one, is it that one?
And it was just like her at the gym, and she sees the interview of him just getting fucking owned, fucking wrecked on this, like, televised news station about these women being like, but wait, isn't your cartoon really sexist? And he's like, well, it's just an idea. And, like, she kind of does relate to his argument of, like, it's just art, but he's not coming across very well. I'm like, oh my god, the catharsis of seeing your ex get fucking owned on TV about his comic book that you always secretly thought was a little questionable. I'm like, that must be the best goddamn feeling in the world. Like, I could not imagine something better than just watching a man face the repercussions of his actions that I secretly have been harboring resentment for a long time. Oh, yeah. We love to see it. So I am gonna kill him, yeah. Not just because of his sexist cartoon, but just because I thought the way he, like, weaponized her daddy issues of being like, the only reason you, like, can't be with me is because you have problems with your dad. I'm like, you are not allowed to say that. Like, that's actually grounds for you to get shot in my home.
Yeah.
So, no to that. I think I am gonna marry Ivan.
Yeah.
I thought he seemed lovely. And I don't care if you only want to work in the coffee shop for the rest of your life. I actually think that's I think we live in Norway, baby. We got universal healthcare. We get to live in this.
Doesn't matter to me.
I think we're fucking fooling.
You're making more than minimum wage? Great.
And I know Miss Julie is good in the sack. This much we know.
Yeah, I am also gonna fuck Julie. I don't know. I think that we're both too much of, not a mess, but I don't think either of us know ourselves well enough, to be together. And I think I would just I'd love to have her as a friend who maybe I sometimes fuck.
Yeah. Right? You can be that little subplot in the early 20s that they cut out. They're like, love.
Yeah, Ivan loved him. I thought he was really sweet and very, very supportive. And I like his energy. I'm gonna marry him, and unfortunately, I am also gonna have to let Axel go to pancreatic cancer. Unfortunately.
But before he dies, we can have a really nice photo shoot in his childhood home.
Yeah, maybe I'll skip that. And what are you going to eat and drink while you watch this movie?
So I was kind of struggling with this. So I was originally thinking, this is also bad because it's Swedish, but I was like, Swedish, IKEA, Swedish meatballs. And then I was like, this is not a vibe. Because I'm like, this feels insensitive. So
it does.
Because I was trying to look at Norwegian foods, but just none of them looked good. Like, they all looked bad. So this answer is complex, and it's an insight into my soul, if you will.
Sure.
So I turned 25 in December, and I have been feeling the urge that this movie sort of encapsulates of, like, the urge to, like, self-actualize. I'm like, oh, it's about time, right? Like, it's about time that I get that top period of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like, it's about time that we're there. It's a little, it's time to start stepping in the directions of being an adult, human person.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to read a self-help book. I don't really like being told what to do. So I just have been making all these sort of weird arbitrary rules for myself that feel grown up, but I don't really know whether they are or not. But a thing about, like, habits is that I've decided that I'm allowed to keep my bad habits, but, like, they just have to be a different bad habit, right? So swap your bad habit with one that's not as bad. But it's still bad, but just your old one was worse, right? does this make sense? So instead of biting your nails, you're like, I had to stop biting my nails, but I'm allowed to start smoking crack, right? Like, and you're like, well, I'd rather take the crack addiction than the short nails, right? So you're
of
like,
course, yes.
Checks and balances. But so, one unit tool, I had this unit tool in my life that was really starting to get problematic, and it was my inner ear camera. Is that I bought this.
I've had to restrain myself from buying one of these, thanks to you.
A little endoscopic camera with a little scoopy hook on the end that you stick deep into your ear, and I would look at that thing for hours. I would be in the bathroom until 2 a.m. watching it like it's a fucking HBO miniseries, like deep. And I was definitely, it was getting bad because maybe get a little too close to the eardrum. Cleaning, you can actually, your ears can be too clean. That's a thing.
Yeah,
you need earwax.
There's a reason it's there. It's it's the same reason you have eyelashes, so you don't get shit stuck in your orifices.
Well, I was being really problematic with the ear camera, and so in my new in my new self-actualized adult mind, I'm like, okay, well, I am gonna throw this in the trash, but I'm allowed to reward myself by getting a new unitool. Which now I own an ice cream machine. So instead,
you know what? Honestly, so you got rid of the ear thing?
I threw away the ear thing, but
Good for you.
I rewarded myself. I'm like, my new habit is that I have a Ninja Creamy and that I can make ice cream in my home whenever I want.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I think that's reasonable.
Checks and balances. But so, as part of my adult nature now, I can have an affogato whenever I want. I've got the fucking the bullshit Nespresso machine. Yeah.
Oh.
Now, bitch. I make my own gelato from scratch with the egg yolks. You pop it in the machine. It takes 30 seconds. Blends up your fucking gelato. You make your little espresso shot. I could have one every day. It takes
30 seconds?
Like a minute.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to freeze it overnight. So you have to prep it overnight so it freezes.
Oh, okay.
Then you just put it in the machine and it just turns it into ice cream.
Yeah.
It's really great. But so anyways, I think you should have an affogato because that's really making me feel very 25 right now.
You know what? Fuck it.
Another, I mean, not to get into my personal habits a little too much, but another one I've been doing lately is, I wanted to stop biting my nails because after I got my face surgery, I couldn't bite my nails. So then I was like, well, now that I haven't bit them for 6 months, I just have to stop forever, right? But I am trying to get myself to not bite them as much by painting them, but I've never been good at painting them. So my new thing that I'm trying to do is that when I put on a show or a movie to watch, in order to keep myself off of my phone or from like snacking or like doing like, to make myself focus for the movie, before the movie starts, I paint my nails and I force myself to sit with my hands flat out while they dry, because I have never in my life painted my nails without them getting like
fucked up because you've touched them,
Yeah, because I touch them before they dry, and then they get all fucked up, and I'm like, well, I'm so impatient. I've never been patient enough to let them... So it's been keeping me off my phone, right? Though I'm like, I keep my nails painted, it keeps them unbitten, and it keeps me off of TikTok while I'm trying to watch.
And you're watching a movie,
Yeah.
See? Nothing sounds bad about that. Like, I feel... And that's also a good exercise in discipline. I feel like I remember myself in high school, I was the most disciplined bitch ever. I would wake up early, do the hell out of my face. I don't know fucking how. Go to school, go to track practice, go to band practice, and then still go home
PM and do my
homework. And every now and then practice more.
Yeah.
Like insane. I don't know how I did it. Nowadays, I can't even I can't even come home and make myself clean my dishes in my sink. It's nuts.
I think that's the coming of age in your 20s thing that we need to capture on film, is thinking about how you were when you were 16 and then thinking about yourself now and being like, oh my god, I used to be so smart and full of energy and capable. And now I am so incapable. Like, the way the American education system makes you fucking, like, militant, in your teen years, and then you're, like, left to your own devices, and you're like, well, I guess I'm gonna lay in bed for 4 days.
Exactly.
Your food and your drink, yes, for this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna say that you just have a nice glass of Prosecco with this. I'm gonna keep it simple. Clean, classy. Love a Prosecco. And I was really, for some reason, this movie made me, I think you should do an easy thing, but I think you should also do something a little fun. And there's been a trend lately where a lot of food people on TikTok have been doing like these upside down puff pastries.
Yes, I've made those.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, they are really easy. They seem high
absolutely.
effort, but they're really, especially if you pre-buy the pastry. You don't have to make your own puff pastry. Just get out the store.
Super easy. I think you do one with shallot, peach, goat cheese, and then you can put prosciutto and balsamic on it. Yes. I think something like that sounds really good.
Yeah, I made some, I remember, with, like, apple and, like, brie. Like, apple, brie, like, pastry.
Oh, yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, it's very TikTok. Very...
Yeah, absolutely.
# life hack. And then what movie are you going to follow that up with?
I'm going to say Beginners by Mike Mills, because he's always got my go-to sort of coming-of-age movies. 20th Century Women, obviously, and then Come On is really good as well. And that was, I thought about doing that one because it's kind of a parallel growing up of a child and his uncle at the same time. But I really love Beginners, and I love Ewan McGregor, and I think it's a great coming-of-age story as well because it features Christopher Plummer coming out at like 80-something years old.
I've never seen that one, but you always speak so highly of it. I really need to bump it higher up on my list.
Yeah, so I think you watch that, and I think it's just shot beautifully, and it's kind of reminiscent of this to me. But maybe that's just that's probably just me being biased because I really like that movie. What about you?
So my first answer, which is not my real answer, is that you just won. You watched the movie that did win International Feature that same year that this movie was nominated, and you were to Drive My Car. I know we talked about it a little earlier on Chocolate or Vanilla, but I actually really did enjoy that one, and I remember. Being happy that one was nominated for Best Picture as well. We were starting to get more into more of the international features being included in the Best Picture race as well.
Thank God.
Right? Yeah, fucking finally. But I remember that one was similarly like quiet slice of life, but contemplative about like the human condition. Very like similar introspective movie vibe. So I did like that one a lot, and I would like to revisit it again sometime soon. But I think in real life, what you should do is what I did on my horrible, no good, very bad day, where I watched this movie, and I was eating my ice cream, and I had my fever, and I was in all my blankets, and I watched this movie, and I was like, I am still sad. So I put on a movie that I knew would cheer me up, and that was Anastasia, the animated
I've never seen it.
That was one of my favorites growing up. Like, wore the VHS
Can't remember,
down. Bartok, if you see that movie, and you understand the character of Bartok the Bat, I think that's a really good insight to me as a person and my formative, fundamental personality.
Maybe I'll have to watch it.
He's just a really annoying little side character. He's Rasputin's henchman, and he's a little bat, and he's like, Anastasia! Anyways. Anastasia animated movie, one of my all-time faves, and is what I paired. And then I think I watched Atlantis after that, because I still needed to be, like, ripped from the depths of depression that this movie, like...
Of course, yes.
Yeah, I had a little animated romp after I recall. But that's what I think you should do, and I'm gonna give this movie 8 out of 10 stars. Actually, I think that's a little too generous. I'm gonna give it a 7. 7 out of 10.
I was also gonna give it a 7.
7 out of 10, yeah. I think it's really beautiful, and I think it is objectively good. The theme of this month, objectively good. Yes.
Objectively good movies.
Check. But I do like that this time around I had a little bit more to question about it. And like you said, I think if I watched this movie every 3 years until I'm 35, I think I would get something different away from it. Which is like a huge compliment to the people who fucking wrote this movie, because that's insane to achieve something like that. So, objectively good.
There you have it.
Send us your suggestions. What is objectively good to you?
Please.
Objective good art, and of course we joke. Everything is subjective, but I get to say what is objectively good. And this week, I'm saying it's the worst person in the world. And we will continue this month to talk about good shit that we like, because we fucking deserve it.
Because I want to watch good movies.
I want to watch a good movie. I want to have my little affogato, self-actualize, watch a good movie.
Wait for your nails to dry.
Wait for my nails to dry while I pay attention and I don't look at TikTok and I preserve.
I'm so good.
Just preserving what one brain cell I have left. Like, just rattling around inside there. I'm like, all right, let's lock in, right? But love you all. Thank you, as always, for listening this far. If you could comment, give us stars, send us your
Always
ideas.
helpful.
We love to hear from all of you. But specifically the stars, you know? I'm going to hammer that home. I'm going to continue to hammer home that I would like stars from you. So if you
Sarah wants a star.
I want a star, please. I want my nails to be dry, I want some ice cream, and I want you to give my podcast 5 stars. Please and thank you. And goodbye and good night.